Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you have clicked on this video, you are probably going to change the piston rings on a Suzuki. You're probably going to change the piston rings on a Yamaha 8B. And that is what I'm going to do today. I will be showing you how to take this engine apart all the way to the crankcase and the piston rings, and then how to put it together again. That is what this series is going to be about, or this video at least, so enjoy and let's begin. Alright, first off you are going to need to take the bolts off. Let me just take this cap off. First thing you need to do is there are bolts under here which has to come off. Now some of these bolts connect to the lower plate of the outboard and the other to the engine block itself. There are 4 bolts that connect onto the lower plate, and I think it is 8 bolts that connect to the crankcase. So it is a bit wet or condensated because it was outside, but yeah, it's just now I'm going to loosen up the bolts, and after you've done that I can then show you which bolts you need to screw off. So let me do that and I will come back to you. Now a little tip before you screw off all the bolts is you take a piece of cardboard and you draw over the section that you are going to unbolt, and then put the bolts in on the place where it belongs, so you remember which bolt comes from where. Because there are different lengths of bolts, you need to remember where they are going, where they are used to go. You need to remember where they need to go, so you don't accidentally put the bolts in the wrong position or in the wrong place. What I'm going to do now is draw over the underside of the engine block and then make holes and put the bolts in where they should be on our board itself, so it is a little bit easier to see where they actually need to be. Alright, so here it is. This is the underside of the engine block, and here are the places that the bolts are on this moment on this engine, so you don't forget where they need to be, but it's smart to always be on the safe side. So let's get cracking and screw off all the nuts, or bolts actually. Bolts, yeah. So that's the first tool you're going to need. A 10mm wrench or ratchet. And also I'm going to show you which bolts you need to unscrew, or I will just put a clip of it so you already beforehand know which bolts you need to unscrew. Alright, some pre-post footage here. I forgot to record on the original way, but here you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts that you need to unscrew, and here you have the 4 bolts that connect to the lower plate. So this is how it looks with the engine block off. So hard English, but yeah, this is the pre-post footage here, so you know which bolts to unscrew. Now back to the original video. By the way, it's also smart to mark what is the front and what is the back. So I know that this way is front, seen above at least. So that's also quite smart to remember. Alright, I have unbolted all the bolts. Here they are. There are actually 7 of them. And one thing before I take this off is I have already done this, and I have actually replaced the original gasket with a fluid or a liquid gasket. So don't be surprised if you see grey stuff instead of the actual gasket. And also, before we get further into the video, please consider to like and subscribe, because most of you are probably not going to see to the end of this video, because the concentration of people nowadays is actually really short. So unless you're going to do this procedure by yourself. And also, before we can actually take the engine block off, is we need to take some more parts off, not only the bolts. And those other parts are, let me just take the camera off. One of them is disconnect the choke handle here by the carburetor, the fuel, and I think, yeah, the shut off or the kill switch, and also the throttle linkage. And those are the pieces that also need to be taken off, so that is what I'm going to be doing now. Alright, I did something stupid because I accidentally stopped filming, but after you've taken this piece off, this little piece here, you should be able to just pull out. Come on, work with me here, camera. Right, after you've taken that piece off, you should be able to just pull out the choke knob or handle. After that, you need to take the throttle linkage off, and to make it easier is to loosen up this bolt, so this is free to move. Then you loosen up this throttle linkage here, which has the same piece as the acceleration or the throttle. And after that you should be able to loosen up the throttle linkage here. So I'm just going to do that because it is quite hard to film, but I will show you what you need to loosen up after I've done it, because also the camera I use is a bit hard to film with because everything is manual. Alright, now after you have loosened up the the first throttle linkage, this one, you loosen the last one behind here, or in the back here, the nut. And now after you've loosened up the nut, you take this out like this, tighten up the nut again so you don't lose it. And now here comes the tricky part, because you need to actually kind of play around with getting this loose. I like to use pliers for this because it is quite hard to actually move around. Yes, I'm recording because I was stupid enough. This is quite hard. This is pretty hard. Alright, finally got to loosen up the second control or a throttle linkage, and now after that there's nothing more, I think. So those are the pieces you need to actually disconnect or loosen up before taking the engine block off, and that is what we are going to do next. By the way, I have opened the door because it lets in a little bit of more light, so it is easier to see, because the lighting in here for filming is really bad, but also the weather outside now is really cold. So yeah, but now we are going to take the entire engine block off. Ooh. And that's what it's all about. But first I need to reload. First I need to charge my camera back up again because the battery is flat. Well, not technically flat, but empty. So after a little break, I will see you again. Alright, I have charged up my battery camera and I'm back in business. Now I think there isn't anything more to do but to take off the engine itself. If it is the first time you have taken the engine block off, it's probably going to be quite hard to lift it. So what I like to do is take a piece of wood like this and then just put it under somewhere safe, so you don't accidentally break something off, because it would be really stupid. So let me see. Take a piece of wood, you put it under somewhere and then gently hit it. Well, that doesn't want to come off. Work low and slow, or at least slow, so you don't accidentally break something off. This is harder than I thought. Now this can be because I used liquid gasket or gasket, but I don't think so. Oh wait, also something you need to take off is actually the gear safety, I think it is called. It is kind of a safety that sits here, which if it is in gear you can't pull the pull start, so it is quite irritating, but I think it is what it is, because see, if I put it in gear I can't pull the pull start, then if I disengage I can pull it, so that's also something. And it is actually the same as the choke piece here, like it is the same as this one. I'm just going to take that off and then we'll try again. Like that. Alright, now that one is loose. Now just going to check if every bolt is actually loose. I think it is, because it is quite hard to actually take it off and I don't really know why. And also with the open door it's really cold, but it is what it is. Why this doesn't want to come off, I really don't know. Well, I think there is some movement actually. Can't really tell. Yeah, that's moving. Nice! Yes! I got it! It's off! Or it's loose at least. Now, after we've taken all the bolts off and all the other things, don't lift it up by the spark plug because you're going to break it. Yes. Alright, now I'm just going to lift it off and put it on the workbench so it is a little bit easier. Just let me do that. Alright, so here we are. Let me just zoom in or zoom out. Now here we are. This is the empty housing. It's actually starting to rain now. Welcome to Holland, people. Now, also I found a better camera setting to record videos, or film at least. This is how it looks when it's off. Here you have the drive shaft. Here you have the water cooling channels. This is the fluid gasket that I told you earlier, which I actually thought was holding it off, or holding it on at least. Actually, not off. But yeah. Now the piece that I accidentally broke off was quite an important piece. And now as I actually see myself, I don't think I can change piece with the piece I got, because I accidentally cracked this here because I put a screwdriver between, which you shouldn't do, and I learned the hard way. Because you actually need to, before taking this piece off, which is the oil seal, you need to loosen up the crankcase, which I didn't know before today, and this I actually already tried quite a while ago. So I was stupid enough to do it this way, and then I cracked, and now actually I don't think I can put this piece on. Now of course I can see there's a big difference between how it looks, but well, maybe if the crankcase size and the shaft size is the same, maybe I can put this on, because if this works, that's fine for me. Because I don't know if it is stupid to actually run this outboard with a cracked bolt piece here. But before I go any further, I'm just going to take all this silicone gasket off, and then I will see you when I've done that. I think that's going to be it for this video actually, because I've taken off some of the gaskets and there are many more steps you need to do before you actually get to the piston rings. So this video is probably going to be something like how to take off the engine block off a Yamaha 8B. In the next episode we will be taking off the carburetor, the flywheel and the pull start, and also all the ignition timing electronics, well not the timing but all the ignition electronics, because those are also parts that are going to be taken off before you open up the crankcase. So, but yeah, that's it for this video. If you want to see more and want to see the next episode, consider to like and subscribe so you don't miss it when it gets uploaded, so you know what to do in the next step. It's probably going to take a while because these videos do take a lot of energy and work to make. So yeah, if you want to see the next episode, consider to like and subscribe. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one, probably. And now I'm going to take a break because I'm quite tired of talking English, because it takes a lot of effort to talk English the right way, because English is hard. Well, goodbye. That was today's video. Goodbye again. Many goodbyes.